Hello, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Can we start?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll share my screen. Okay. Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Just a second. Okay. Now, in today's session, we are going to learn about the table control option in module full program. Okay. I'm going to create a program. Okay. Since this is the module full program, it is going to be type M. Now here, I'm going to declare the structure which I'm going to use in my program. I will tell about this include structure. So if you see, this include structure refers to nothing but you already have VBRK table, right? So you are trying to give the fields of VBRK to one structure. So like this also you can create the structure. What this VBRK, this include structure VBRK will do is like, it will take the whole table fields. Usually how we will declare the local structure, starting with begin of structure name, then the required fields, then end of structure. That's the local structure. Now I just going to include all the fields from that table to this structure which I am creating. So I can do that in this way. Simply this include structure will include all the fields of VBRK table to this local structure. And you can declare another variables also inside the same structure which you are using in your program. So I have declared SEL, which means one variable which is of type char1. This SEL will take one character, which means it is similar like this. You don't have to mention type char1. Automatically it will take default. This will take character 1 as data type. This SEL. Okay. You can have any other name, not only SEL. If you want any other variable, you can have VAR. That's it. Like that you can have. This is simply a variable, nothing else. Why I have declared this variable is like in table control, if I want to select a particular line item in the table, then I have to identify which line I am selecting. So for that purpose, to capture that table control line, I have declared this SEL of character 1. Okay, so whenever I select that particular line in the table control, at that time this SEL field is going to be X in the sense it is marked or selected. If the line is not selected, then SEL will be empty. So this is the basic scenario of the line selection. After that, I have declared one internal table and work area. Now I'm just activating this program. I'm taking it to SE80 mode, that is Object Navigator mode. Now I'm start creating my screen for table control. So usually what I will do in the sense, I will segregate, like if I'm using a tab strip, I will provide my screen number as 100, so that when I'm using tab strip wizard, in last class you have seen, it will take us 101, 102 as subscreens. 100 will be your normal screen in case of tab strip. When you create tab strip wizard, a 101, 102 number will be automatically created as a subscreen, not as a normal screen. So for any other things, like if I want to simply have input output fields in my module pool program, I will start with 9000. So, and if I want to use table control, I will start with 0001, or else 9000 also fine. Okay, just for segregation, what I will do, I will simply segregate the screens also. Okay, after 9000 means it is for the normal input output. If it is tab strip, I will use it like 100, 101. So if it is table control, I will use like 1001, 1002. Sorry, screen number 1, screen number 2, like that. Okay, usually your screen number is 4 digits only. Only up to 4 digits you can give. Okay, no one is going to create 10,000 screens or 5,000 screens, sorry, more than 10,000 screen. So that's the reason I'm giving this number. You can give your own number. So then I'm just giving the description. Then this is going to be the normal screen. So types of screen, everything you should remember. Okay, you should not blink whenever they are asking what are the types of screen in module pool. It's normal screen, subscreen, and modal dialog box. Only 3 types. Subscreen you have seen in your tab strip. I have already shown you. Just please practice the programs which I'm teaching you, especially the tab strips and all. So you can go through the recording, session recording, and practice. Then that's all. Now let us go to layout. Now I will increase, I will take it in a big mode. Now, I already told you we have 2 options for table control also, like normal table control and table control with wizard. I usually prefer table control, because what will happen if we use table control with the wizard is like, if we want to do any changes in the record in your table control, at that time, if you use table control wizard, it has some inconsistencies. Okay, still this table control wizard is not working properly. So that's the reason I'm using normal table control. Okay, so simply click, then drag and drop. You can size it according to your screen and according to your requirement. You can resize it. See, you are having this vertical horizontal thing, to make it big and small, like that you can do. After that, what you have to give is double click on this corner. Here you are seeing one thing, right? Table control button. So double click on this table control button, and here you provide your table control name, TBLCTRL, like that. Anything you can give. Basically the name for your table control. After that, here you can see some options, resizing, separators, this and all. You have to make it check. Why? In the sense, now in your table you are going to have fields, right? More than 5, 10, or anything. So for that, if you select this vertical and horizontal, it is for resizing. Like, you can shrink it, you can wide it, the particular columns, for that, for resizing. And separators, in the sense, it is like separating your field and columns, like your rows and columns. Okay, so always I will check all these options. Okay, and line selection, you can see here line selection. If you give it as none, you cannot select any line on your table control. Okay, let me tell you why we need a line selection in table control. But before that, I just want to ask you, can anyone tell me why we need a line selection in our table? What we can do with line selection?
For interactive report, no?
For interacting, but what kind of actions we can do?
Uh,
Just it's a common thing. If it is wrong also, no problem, you just answer, I just want to interact with me. That's the reason. You think why we require the line selection in table control?
Just to select the line. After selecting, we can copy it. We can do anything with that.
Okay, for capturing that particular line, after capturing that particular line, we can delete that line from the table. Or what we can do, we can select that particular line and we can save it, right? Or we can select that particular line and modify it. So basically, line selection is used for that thing only, to delete or to save or to make any modifications. So like that, requirements will come for you. Now here I'm giving single. If you want to select more than one line and save it in your database table, then you can do that. Okay, but you should select this option, multiple, for multiple line selection. Now I just need single, I'm just putting a single. Like that, for column selection also you have a single, none, multiple. So whatever require, you can use that. Now I'm clicking on this checkbox. This one, selection, column selection is like, here you have to give that. This is very, very important. Then only you can able to select your column. Here what I have given is like, sorry, hold on. Here what I have given is like work area, which I have declared in my program. Then SEL. SEL also I have declared in my structure, right? First we have created structure, in that we have declared SEL field. After that include structure, then we have declared internal table and work area. So anyway, this SEL, we cannot directly simply put SEL, because work area we have already declared with the type of that structure. Work area type TY, that structure. So you have to call the work area along with that field, not simply that field, else it will throw dump or it will not work properly. Okay, so try in both the ways. Okay, so then you can understand what mistake we are doing. Like that, you simply put SEL alone and try, and you put work area and hyphen SEL, then you tell me the difference. Okay, now I have made this checkbox tick. So that's all. This is the properties we have to give in our table control. Now, after this, what we can do is like, I'm calling this dictionary field button. Here I'm giving my work area which I have declared in my program. Then I'm clicking on get from program. Sorry, enter. What up? I think we have not, just a second. Let me look onto it. Okay. Sometimes it gets stuck like this. Okay. Now, here in declarations, you have to declare the table control. So this is the syntax. Controls. Okay. Then your table control name, which you are giving in your screen, that table control name, then type table view using screen, then your screen number. Basically, this is the syntax for table control you have to write, which will be asked in interviews also. Please note the syntax. Controls, table control name, type, table view using screen, screen number. Please make a note of it. Activate your program. Then again come to screen. Take your screen. Okay. What we have done is gone. Again, I'm taking the table control. If it is coming like this, simply click on into button and you can write. After that, dictionary button and work area. Then you can click on get from program. While you click on get from program, you can see all the fields which are existing arcade. Okay. This SCL field we have already used. That's why it is in lock mode. Okay, it will not be enabled because we have already used it. So from here, whatever fields you want, you can select that. Before that, what is PVELN? What it is? That's all. Okay. Now I'm selecting all this and I'm simply dropping inside the table control. That's all. I have dropped. When you drop like this, as soon as you drop, it will come like this. Here you can see this is for line selection and here you have dropped the fields. If you double click on any of this field, you can see the name, everything will be auto populated like this. Okay. Now what you have to do is like you have to design input output field for that. Okay. So for that you have to take this text field and you have to place it over here. For heading basically. Okay. So like this you can design your text field also. Here you can have name. Name will be like work area of that field. Okay. You cannot provide simply any other name. It should be meaningful. So I am providing work areas VBEL. That's it. So see, when you come here for this, if you take this input output field, usually we will enter or we will get the output in this input output field only. When you come here, you are having three options like a dictionary, program, display. You just take display. Here you will be having many options like this. I will tell you one by one. Before that, in your program, you are having when you come to this program center button, you are having options like input field, output field. See why we are if you make this as output field, uh, if you want this as a gray, like you want to display the output only, you don't have to change anything. Like if you don't want to input it, then you can always uncheck this, so it will be like output only. It will become output only. But if you uncheck and if you give like this, it will not be grayed out. You can able to edit this particular field. You can input this. But this is the sales document number is key field, right? I don't want to edit it. So simply I'm making it as output only. Like this, you can, you are having properties also. You can do that. Okay. After that, yeah. Here also I have to provide the name. So here in input output field, you can increase the length also, because sometimes headings will be bigger, right? For that purpose. Okay. So like this, you can increase also. In input output field, the option will be there. You have to give name here. For text field also, you have to provide a name, else error will come while activating. So make sure you provide the name for this text field. Don't come and ask me why the dump is coming like that. You have to provide this name also. It will take time. Do it carefully and slowly. First, you change the length in input and output field, then you design this filling category. Sorry. So after that, you can simply activate your program. Okay, this is nothing why this error is showing. It is because after all you are designing your layout. What you will do, you will put table control. After that, you will drag and drop all your input field. Then you have designed the text field. You have to provide name for all the text field also. Yes, it will throw error. After that, here now I have to declare the table control. In screen, I have to call the table control. So I am going to write the program for that. So you can check loop at internal table into work area with control, your table control name, cursor, current line. Okay, so like this you have to declare. Then only your table control will be called in your screen. Loop at internal table into work area with the control table control name. Basically, you are loading the table control in your screen. That's why this particular coding is required. And cursor table control current line, which means I'll tell you why we are writing this. Because when you are looping your internal table, in your internal table, you might contain many records, not a single record, right? Many records. So basically, one by one record, we are fetching the record one by one in your screen, like from your internal table to your table control. Imagine in PBO, what we will do, we will write all the logics for loading the data to your screen, which means basically from your internal table to table control. So if you want to load that, you will load one by one. So for that, you have to mention this table control current line, because current line denotes that like a index. When it is one, current line will be 1. When it is second record, current line will be 2. So this cursor table control current line is mandatory to declare. Then in PAI also you have to loop your internal table to process it. That's why I am looping here also. Carefully watch where I'm writing the logic. So in PBO, I'm going to enable this module. Why? Because I'm simply going to write my select query here, because whenever I'm going to execute my program, my data will be there in my table control. So I'm not entering anything. I'm not inputting anything. So my logic is not going to be in this PAI module. It is not going to be here, because I am not inputting anything. Simply I'm executing. At the time of execution itself, data will fall in my table control. So for that, before looping the table control in my screen, I will write this module. If you put this module like after this, you do that and tell me what will happen. Okay, this is wrong. You should not put your module here. You may ask me, anyway, it is PBO only. What is the problem if I write it here? If you write it here, screen will not properly flow. Data will not flow properly in your table control, because you are looping the table control before the data. Before before loading the data, you are looping the internal table into your table control. That is actually wrong. So you have to always write the logic before this looping. Then only while you are writing loop statement, at that time data will flow properly in your internal table, then internal table to your table control. So be careful while writing the logics. Understand and write. First, we will write select query only for loading the data. Then only we will call the screen. Now, I am creating my module in my main program itself. So you are saving it and you are creating it. Here, you can write your select query. So now, I am writing select star because I have used to include structure, which means all field I have selected in my table, sorry, structure. So select star from VBRK into your internal table up to, now I am just giving up to 10 rows. Why? Because I have not designed any input parameter. According to your requirement, you have to write the query. Like I don't have any input over here in my module. I'm just going to take some particular records to my screen. So writing up to 10 rows into table, into corresponding fields of table. Why I'm using this is because in my table control, I have not fetched all the field right. I have only fetched 5 field. So if I write into table alone, into table alone means dump will come because only I have selected 5 field. So system will get confused in table control where I have to write this like that. If you simply put table, so that I'm using into corresponding fields of table because in my select query I have fetched all the field, but in my table control I only have 5 field. So system should understand in which field in table control I should move my field from my internal table. So for that, but you should avoid using this corresponding fields of table. You declare the structure with required fields as we do usually. Why I am teaching all you this new method is because you should also know these are all methods you are having and you can do like this also. That's why I'm teaching like this. Okay. Else you properly create a structure with required fields alone and put it in select query and table control design the proper field and avoid using this corresponding fields of table. So yeah, that's all. After this, you can activate your program. Yeah, so three main things. First part is you have to declare the table control here with the syntax controls name type table view using screen number. Then the second important part is here in layout, in flow logic, you have to write this loop at internal table into work area with the control table control name, cursor table controls current line. Okay. Then third important part is designing your layout. So you have to keep these three things in mind and think before writing the logics, where you have to write the module and how you have to do it. Why we are writing this looped statement and why we are writing looped aft in PAI, because here also you have to loop the record. See, if you come to table control, it is entirely different. In table control, you are bringing the internal table record. So you have to loop it. One by one record will come to from your internal table to table control in your screen. And in PAI, what will happen? Like whatever you are doing in your screen, like in your table control, you can modify, you can append, you can delete it. So that modification basically will fall from table control to your internal table or your database table. That logics will be written over here. Like your app, basically your modify statement can be written in this module. After looping the screen, you are writing this module. If you write this module before here, before this loop statement, what will happen? It, you try and tell me, okay? But you should not write it over here, because after loading your internal table only, in your after internal table, you will write it over here, because in your table control only you will usually modify and do everything, and you will append it to your internal table. So if you write this before here, that will not happen, which means modification in your database table or internal table will not happen. You just do it and check, okay? Sequence will not work properly. That's why I'm teaching all you this. Now I'm just not going to have any user command. Let me comment this one. I'm activating it. Then I'm creating one T code to execute this program. It's a dialog T code. Program name and my initial screen number and all these options. Let us check what. Okay. See, here I have declared it wrongly, TCL, CRN, like that. So basically, in error analysis, try to read, try to at least find the dump, okay? It's TBCTRL. Should I have written TCL? That's why the dump, because there is no table control with the TCL. So yeah. Anyway, I'm right clicking and I'm acting it overall, and I'm executing this. Here, can you see? All my data is coming in my table control. So you can see, since this is key field, we have already made it as output only in programs option, right? That's why it is coming in this color, which means you cannot enter anything. So only output field. And here you can scroll it to horizontal, to vertical. Vertically you can scroll, and here you can select your line like this. Okay, basically here after selecting, you will have to design one push buttons, like for selecting all, deselecting all, or for insert or delete, like that you have to design push button, and according to that push button you have to write a logic for deleting, adding, and all. And you can even save it. You can make the save option enable, and you can save it to your database table from this table control, internal table, and all. Here you are having input and output field, so you can edit it basically. Then you can save it. Okay, like this you can do. Requirement will come like this only. Why basically table control is required? Like in screen, we are fetching the data from our standard SAP table. Then here we are modifying something in the table control. After that, whenever we are clicking on that save button, it should get saved in our customized database table, not to the standard SAP database table. Okay, to the copy of our customized database table. Like this requirements will come. Then you have to design like this. In next class, I will design that push buttons and I will show you. Okay, while selecting this, like while giving this save button, how it is getting saved and all, we will see in next class. Okay, any doubts on this on this? Guys, open your mouth.
No, ma'am.
Can you understand this? Understand this concept?
Yes, ma'am.
Whether it is difficult for you or it seems easy, right? Any difficulties in this?
No, ma'am.
I want everyone to practice this. See, this is our last week of learning. Next week, you will be given the project BRDs, which means the requirements. You will have final project thing, like you have to develop the module pool screen and your database table. So what we have seen in module pool, like initially we have designed the input field. While entering the input, it will get saved into the database table, right? From that database table, you have to fetch the report, ALV report, and you will be having one smart form also. Based on the input we are storing in our database table, you have to fetch the smart form also. So these three parts you will do, like one screen you will do, one smart form you will do, one ALV grid report you will do. This is the very basic thing in SAP ABAP. So I want everyone to practice it. Don't take it lightly. Okay, that will be monitored seriously by our one of our experienced consultant. They will check on all your codings and all. They will ask you any question from your codings also, basically. So you have to be ready with your programs, with your output. So please practice. Why I am insisting this is because then only you will come with error and doubts. Many doubts you will come up with. If you don't practice, just listening to the class will not help you. You will forget everything. So then and there, after the session, please spend 1 hour at least a day and complete one concept. Then you don't have to mug up or you don't have to do anything. You just memorize it by practicing it. And let me know if you are struggling with any issues or any errors. Okay. I hope you have practiced the smart forms also. Tomorrow or day after tomorrow, I will come up with one exercises in smart form. Okay, please be prepared with it. Then we can end the session today. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.